First off, the outgoing title holder, who is currently Miss Winnipesaukee, she gifted me this crown box. I've never had a crown box before, y'all.
Biological females don't even have a chance anymore. That opening clip was a transgender female named Brian Nguyen, Nguyen, from New Hampshire. Supposedly, she is a social media influencer. And Brian entered a beauty pageant for the Miss Greater Derry title in New Hampshire. And Brian won over a group of biological females. So young girls, biological girls, don't even have a chance anymore. They just might as well give up and not enter pageants, not play sports, not do anything. Here's a quick clip of Brian winning the crown. It's just a quick clip of them announcing the winner. And Brian was announced Miss Greater Derry, the winner over all the other biological females. This is the United States of America now. So why do adults, politicians, community leaders, why do they continue to red pill biological females? Beauty pageants, sports, they're letting transgender females enter and win pageants over the whole group of biological females. They're letting transgender females play women's sports. They're letting transgender females use women's locker rooms when they're not biological females. Haven't we seen enough of this? We all know their movement is strong, and most of us don't care about what they do. But when you're taking a group of young women in a beauty pageant and giving the crown to a man, a boy, a biological male, why is that okay? Why are people okay with this? I, for one, if I had one of my daughters in that pageant, I would have been unhappy. I would have probably had to keep my mouth shut because I'd be the bad guy or the extremist or the problem. But it is simply unfair. It's an unfair playing field for everyone involved. If the organizers of the pageant don't allow the transgender female in, they're bigots. They discriminate. They hate them. They don't approve. If the sports teams don't allow the transgender females, same thing. They're the bad guys. They're bigots. They're racist. They're this, they're that. This is the 2022 that we have to embrace now. We have to embrace the fact that if we have, although my daughters are adults now, they're young adults, but if you have younger daughters who are into that kind of thing, beauty pageants or whatever, quite frankly, should you talk them out of it, especially if they're allowing transgender females in? Because chances are, because you have to be politically correct in these things, the transgender female is either going to win or place higher than the biological female. And if you don't like it, you have to keep your mouth closed. You cannot say anything because you will be the bad person. It will be considered bullying or harassing or bigotry or transphobic, that is so further from the truth, because I've probably said this 10 million times, and I have to keep saying it. There is no reason for this. Let them in by all means. But if you're based on what do they win on? Now, I don't know. Brian could be an extremely talented individual. Brian could be a great singer or musician or magician or whatever. But that's besides the point. Going back hundreds of years, these pageants were for females. End of story. But in today's day and age, this is what these young girls are up against. Whether it's a pageant now or it's a sporting event, they're playing with transgender females who are stronger and more powerful and maybe faster than the biological girls. The competition is totally unfair, but school commissioners, educators, politicians in all these places are allowing this, and they're basically saying, like I've always said, the transgender female has more rights than the biological females. So, and you wonder, are the biological girls, they're home, they're depressed, they don't want to join clubs, they don't want to join teams. This is the reason why. Because they're being pushed aside by a group of people because of who they are, because of the sex or gender they were born. Because that's not good enough anymore. That's not good enough that you're a biological female and you can bear children and you get a menstrual cycle, but Brian can't do either of those. But he's got the advantage. He gets the upper hand because of who he claims he is. And I say he because it's a biological male. And I'm not misgendering anybody. That's the truth. That's the science. That's biology. Brian was born a male. Brian will always be a male. She didn't even change the name. I never met a girl named Brian. Have you? Never. Never in my life have I met a girl named Brian. I've met girls named Dylan, but I've never met a girl named Brian. So am I wrong? I know some people might think I'm wrong, but I'm sorry. This is inappropriate for grown adults who run these things to approve of this. And if, like I said, if Brian was an extremely talented singer, musician, magician, dancer, better than the entire group of biological females, then yeah, if that's what they're basing the contest on, then he deserved to win. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say he wasn't the best in the whole show. He wasn't the best talent. Didn't answer the best questions or whatever it is they do in these pageants. So that's it. I saw this and I had to put it out there because I talk about it a lot because I'm a biological man, and those of you watching who are women, biological women, if we were growing up in this, we wouldn't have a chance. We wouldn't have a chance. We just have to go along with it, deal with it, and look the other way, because if you don't, you're going to be labeled, you're the problem. And we're not the problem. They're attention seekers. They want the attention. That's why this person is a social media influencer, because they're attention seekers. And that's it. I know this is never going to go away, and it's only going to continue and pick up more speed, I would imagine. But this is just wrong for children who are biological males or females who want to compete, who want to do whatever, dance, music, sports, anything. It's unfair for the biological sex today because the transgender movement is becoming strong and more politicians support it. And the parents, again, can't say anything other than sit their kids down and try to explain to them, that's life today. That's what we have to deal with. And it's never going to go away. And all we can do is hope that the kids are able to deal with it and not become depressed and not want to leave the house and just move on, because they're welcome anywhere. I don't care where they are. They're welcome anywhere. But when you got to start putting this tag on them, if you will, that they have more rights than everybody else, then that's wrong. So something needs to be done. They can do whatever they want. They can have their movement. There could be millions of them. I personally don't give a shit. But when kids are involved, it does something in their head, I would imagine, that they're not good enough because they let a boy win a beauty pageant that was entered by all girls. And it's wrong. So if you haven't already liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. Please drop a comment, if you will. Let me know your thoughts on this subject. And that's it. That's it for this one. I hope everybody's healthy and safe, and I'll see you real soon with something else. Have a great night.